Hey everyone in YouTube world, this is Steve Bell again, and I'm here for my 1 week pre-surgery update. And for people who haven't seen my last couple of videos, I'm having a vertical sleeve surgery on Tuesday the 27th of June in 2016. And my starting weight was 155 kilos, and for everyone else, it's about 343 pounds. And after 3 weeks, after my my OptiFast diet, and I've got 1 week left, my current weight is down to 146.7 kilos, or 323.41 pounds. And I was thinking about things this week in the sense of when I was growing up, one of my biggest hobbies was WWF wrestling, and I was chatting to someone about it, and we were talking. I remember growing up, and we used to think how big some of the guys were and how small other guys were, and I thought, this might be a bit of a way of looking at how I lose weight. So worked out that big sexy Kevin Nash, one of my favourite wrestlers, he was the same weight as I was when I started that, which was 343 kilos and over 343 pounds. And over the last couple of weeks, I'm now down to 323. So I've gone from big Kevin Nash down to Kane for those WWE fans. Anyway, as I was saying, I've got some 7 days away from surgery, and I've been on the OptiFast diet. I've actually been on the OptiFast diet for 8 days now. And I actually was doing one OptiFast shake for breakfast for about a week and a half beforehand, which was a good starting point. I mean, the main reason I wanted to do that was just to get things started, and also you buy the OptiFast in a variety pack, and I want to actually try the different flavours for a week and then work out, okay, these are the ones I liked and these are the ones I didn't like. Then got onto a shake. So I've actually, I think I've lost about 5 kilos in the last week. So it's been quite a big loss. I've been doing my surgery. My surgeon's recommendation was I do 4 OptiFasts each day and 2 cups of vegetables, green vegetables. Now, I've actually been struggling to get through my full OptiFast. So I normally do an OptiFast in the morning. Normally, and with lots of water. Then normally do a vegetables for lunch, which I've been doing a couple of cook-ups over the weekends of doing. I did a veggie lasagna the week before, and then I've done a big veggie soup this weekend. I also did a bolognese sauce, veggie bolognese sauce, and some cabbage. So I've actually been having these little jars that I've made up, and then I can actually just take one to work, and I've got another one for dinner. So I have one of those for lunch. Normally have an OptiFast bar for about afternoon tea time. Then I normally do some veggies for breakfast, for dinner, and then I'll normally do an OptiFast after dinner. So that might be a shake or a dessert or whatever. So I got to that stage late last week, and I was going, well, I don't know if I'm actually having I'm struggling to get 4 OptiFasts in and 2 veggies. And the recommendation from my surgeon was if you're over BSI of 35, you can have up to 4 OptiFasts and 2 veggies. And I've actually spoke to them last week and said, look, I'm not sure if I should be dropping an OptiFast, or should I be dropping a veggies, or should I force myself into having the 4 and 2? And they said, well, that's pretty unusual, and I've always been a bit strange, so that might be explain that. But they said, look, to see how you go, if you drop an OptiFast, that's fine, and then just go with that. So I just wanted to do a bit of a shout out for a lot of the videos. It's been an with videos this week. I've actually tried to. I've always watched a lot of Fat Kings, Phil and TJ and Tanya and those kind of guys. But I've actually and been watching a lot of Little Mel. Probably more moved on to a lot more of the Aussie guys. So and Aussie Greenie Machine. I've been watching a lot of your videos, and you yeah, it's been great. I mean, you're not that far from you've had surgery a couple of months back, and it was actually interesting. You did a video on your trip around Melbourne on Queen's birthday weekend, which is I'm from Melbourne, and there's a lot of things that you were showing that grew up around like Darebin Parklands and Brunswick Street. And I remember I saw one of your videos where you went to the veggie bar, which I have to say my wife has been on my backside about going to the veggie bar for years, and it's my sister's favourite restaurant, and I've always gone, oh no, I'm not going there because it's all veggie food, and I've always been a bit of a meat eater and seafood and all that kind of stuff. So but I was watching, you showed the video of the menu and all that kind of stuff, and I thought, oh, that looks pretty cool. So I'm going to wait out until after my surgery and I'll make sure I head down the veggie bar and check that out. One of the things that's probably concerned me in the past was what I could eat and how quickly I'd be able to eat some normal food. And you showed a really good thing of actually making sure you take a Tupperware container and grab that and use and take that home. So it was a really good idea. Watching a lot of Warriors videos, I love you, mate. You're awesome. And then K-Star I've just started getting into, but a couple of the other Aussie people. Big Virgil, he hasn't been on around for a while, but I've been watching a lot of your old videos, and hoping you see this, mate. But I'm not sure if you're not doing it. It looks like you haven't done a YouTube clip for about 12 months, but that's all right. I think you and there's a couple of I was actually at one stage I was trying to find some people who was having surgery about the same time as mine. So I found one which is Jordan T, which I'm not sure. She's only posted one video, and I think she's due to have surgery this week or next week. So if you watch this, good luck. I'm looking forward to following your journey. I was just watching K-Star's video and your video on your tips for pre-op, and watching one of the things, a couple of really things that you were focusing on was the whole you've been able to move on it and actually realise that food's there to actually isn't as evil as it could have been, it should be, and what you've seen it in the past. So, and actually really starting a clean fresh with eating and making sure getting that back in a view. So I haven't really explained what it was, but it was quite interesting. I was finding it really interesting. A couple of things I wanted to talk about this week, a couple of things that have happened this week. One of my big hobbies, and one of pretty much my way of having a bit of me time over the last couple of years has always been going to football on the weekend. So the Aussie rules, for the people, I'm a big North Melbourne fan. And I've always been, my weekends have been trying to get to a football game with a couple of mates each weekend, and really looking forward to over the next couple of years being able to take my boys, who I've got a 4 and a 5 year old, and I'm hoping to be able to get them to start watching the footy, and I'm probably not that far from doing it now. But with us going to football, it's always been a bit of a there's a couple of us who go, and it's a good way of actually just stress relief for the weekend. We just catch up beforehand, and we've always gone to a burger place or something like that, had a couple of beers, and then go to the football, and we have a couple more beers, so it's always been probably a pretty big day. Went to the football last weekend, and it was probably the last Friday night, and it was probably the first times I haven't really done eat up beforehand at a pub or somewhere like that, and then had the beers afterwards. So it was a bit of one of the first times on the football when I was on the waters, and had my Optifast bar. So instead of going to getting a pie at half time or something like that, I just grabbed my bar out, and there we go. It's really good. And one of the other thing was that, like, the two stadiums in Melbourne that we go to the football, one of them, the seats are actually quite tight on one of the levels. And I was just thinking as I was going home the other day, look, by the end of the season, in September, I'm really hoping that I might have that as tight seat, or if it mightn't be this year, that's fine, but it might be next year. Next year I won't have that kind of tightness. And then the other thing that happened for us on Sunday night was a whole lot of us from work got some tickets to Matilda, which is a musical that's based in Melbourne at the moment, which is for those people overseas, it's a Roald Dahl book. They've actually Tim Whitten, who's an Australian comedian, who, and for the Americans, you might know him. He was on one of the series of the David Duchovny show where he I can't remember the name of the show. I've just had a brain freeze. Anyway, he's developed this musical on the Roald Dahl book until we went along. It was great, and the seats were so tight there, and I was just thinking, well, these are one of the little things that I'm actually looking forward to, being able to go to something like this and not have to squeeze into the seats between people and having a little bit more space in there. So yeah, so that's where it is. Being still really nervous about the whole surgery. Not really nervous about the process as much. I know watching a lot of videos, and I know that day one is just a shocker. And everywhere I look, people are saying a lot of people are regretting it after day one, but it's always that day 2 and 3 that you start feeling a bit better. So I'm not that concerned about that, but it was more a concern of, well, how does it affect the rest of my life, in the sense of what can I do and what can't I do and things like that. So still, it's a really kind of interesting, and some of the videos we're talking about was I'm really excited, and the hope that this will work for me, but also the hopelessness of thinking, oh shit, is this really, I shouldn't swear on YouTube, but is this something that I'm so hopeless that I need to do, and I'm feeling a little bit of a failure? Do I need to, that I've had to go down to this way? But which I know I shouldn't feel like this, but it's just one thing that run through my head at the moment, that I look at the rest of the people I know and all that kind of stuff, and I go, well, why is it me that needed to go down this way? Especially when I think I've always tried to exercise. I've always tried to do the right thing, but it's just I keep recurring back to this, thinking, oh, I'm getting somewhere, but then I fall back into other things. So, but yeah, look, the weight that I've lost, over the 20 pounds I've lost, or I've lost nearly 9 kilos in the last 3 weeks. It's really exciting. I'm really excited about that, and I'm actually starting to feel some of my belt. I had to come down a belt buckle, which is fantastic, and starting to feel it. But I'm really excited that I'm looking in my cupboard and thinking, well, I might be able to wear some of that stuff that I used to wear. So I haven't really talked about goals, my weight goals. I still don't really have any weight goals. My final goal, well, but I've got little goals, which my first weight goal was I want to get down to 130 kilos, because that's what my weight was when we got married. My wife and myself got married in 2009, so 7 years ago now. And then my next weight goal is I got down to 200. I got down to 111. About 18 months before that, when I was training for triathlons and things like that. So I'm really hoping I can get back down to that kind of, that's where it is. So I've really got no idea where I'll end up and what my final goal is. I think it's probably something that I need to chat to my surgeon and my dietitian and my psychologist and all that around after I've had my surgery. But yeah, that's where I'm up to. My main goal at the moment is really to get back to a bit of a fitness, and then I can actually getting some stamina to actually keep up with my kids and keep up with my kids. So anyway, that might be about it. I might try and do a quick video this time next week, the day before I go into surgery. But yeah, g'day everyone, and see you soon.